What opinion will you defend like this? A whole sea of people have one opinion.
So this is something I will defend until the day I die, and that is sexual health education should be taught multiple years in public school. I think there should be one course in middle school and one course in high school. And before you jump down my throat saying middle schoolers are too young, they are already talking about that kind of stuff in middle school. I'm not saying hand a middle schooler a Kama Sutra. I'm saying discuss certain words that are tossed around all over middle school hallways and locker rooms, so they have a trusted adult to ask questions on what these words mean and not have to hear it from like an older sibling or from an older grade who barely understands it themselves and is explaining it Urban Dictionary style. Not understanding certain terminology can run into problems, especially later on with consent, where someone asks you if you're ready to do something and you're not really sure what that something even means, so you say yes, and then it's much harder to take back that yes when you're confronted head on with that situation. There needs to be a safe and trusted adult for kids to ask what these words mean, because sometimes parents are not that safe space. I know for me, my parents were great with a lot of things, but when it came to sexual questions, they were not someone I felt comfortable talking to. So it'd be great to have like an anonymous Dropbox where you could ask these questions like, what does this word mean? I heard this kid joke around with this kid about this word that I don't understand, and they can describe what that word is, not in graphic detail, but just enough to understand what it means. Then in high school, they need to have this in freshman year, because I know for New York State that they had it in senior year, and that is 2 years after the national average of when kids lose their virginity. Yes, the national average is 16. So that means having your health class or sex ed senior year is 2 years too. And even in New York, which is a liberal state, they still only did abstinence-based education. They did not teach you any of the things that are necessary to have healthy and safe relationships with other adults. I never got a condom on a banana demonstration. I never got an STI, how to recognize if you're having one, how to prevent getting them. I never had any of that. All I had was basically what you saw in Mean Girls. You will get chlamydia and you will die. You will get pregnant and you will die. Don't have sex, don't have sex. Sex is something for adults. Sex is something for married couples. Sex is not for you. Meanwhile, most people in my grade were already having sex. It has been proven time and time again that abstinence-based sexual education has not helped anybody. All it does is fearmonger kids and think that this is something that we need to keep secret from parents because we're going to get in trouble. So we can't ask the proper question. I literally got genital herpes from my cold sore from a kid who was in the same health class as me. And basically that kid knew he got cold sores, but nobody taught us that cold sores were herpes, and no one taught us that cold sores could pass below the belt to your genitals. Even now, if you look in the comment section on a lot of my videos, people will come at me with that same rhetoric. Oh, you have genital herpes? That's not the same thing as cold sores. That's different. You got it from being a whore, not from whatever. And I have to literally show them with scientific cited sources why they are wrong and why they have been lied to their entire lives. And for those people who are lucky enough to have parents who have taught them this stuff and think that this should be on the parents, you don't realize how lucky and how privileged you sound, because not everybody has a good relationship with their parents. Not everyone's parents are around. Not everyone's parents have the knowledge or even want to share the knowledge with their children. So a lot of us are going into this completely blind and having nowhere to turn and no safe adults to talk to. This is also why a lot of people who are SA'd as children don't even realize what's happening to them until way later on, because they didn't even realize that what was happening to them wasn't normal, or what was happening to them, they didn't have a word for it because nobody taught them until literally their senior year of high school. All I'm saying is that sex should be something that people are comfortable talking about and teaching. Not graphic porno stuff, just the science and just like how to keep yourself safe and how to keep those around you safe and what consent is and how to properly be prepared to make that decision. Because a lot of us go into it blind, saying, yes, I think I'm ready for sex, without even knowing what half of it is and how to do it safely. So how can you give consent to something that you don't even know how to do safely? But anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.